Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to today's webinar, which, as you can see in front of you, Sage 50 Accounts Data Management Tool. Relatively new webinar that we made, just to guide you through the process of managing your data. Hopefully, speeding up the program for you, if speed is an issue. If not, it's going to teach you just how to keep things organized efficiently and quickly. So you're not wasting too much time looking for the information that you need or waiting too much time, either or. So data management tool, what we're going to be covering today then? Well, why manage your data? First off, important question, why should you do it? What's the data management tool itself? What are the steps in data management? How to access the tool? And then a demonstration of the data management tool. So there's going to be about 5 or 6 slides at the start of me talking. So hopefully my voice isn't going to get on your nerves today, because I'm going to be talking you through a lot of the aspects of data management. And then the demonstration is going to really take over. That's when you're going to really see these things come to life. So housekeeping, if you've been here before, you know the rules. If not, these are the rules. Your microphone is automatically muted. So as I always say, if you cough or sneeze, you're not going to interject. You're not going to interrupt my flow whatsoever. We will not hear you. There's also a handout which is attached. Download that now so you don't forget. It's a black and white copy, printer friendly, and also a color copy if you're just going to view it on your desktop. Why not have the full color experience? Also, send your questions in, speech bubble and the question mark there. Again, I'm flying solo today, as we say in the department. I'm on my own. So please be patient with me answering questions. You won't see any questions being asked because of that. You only see the questions being asked if we answer them in writing. Because it's just me today, it's going to be verbally answered for you. But you will receive a copy of the actual webinar an hour after via email. So if you do want to revisit the webinar for whatever reason, then just rewatch it. Totally don't mind doing that whatsoever. So first things first, we mentioned it. Why are we managing data? Well, it is a completely optional process. You don't have to do this, just like you don't have to tidy your room at home. You know, so it's up to you really how far you want to go with data management, even if you want to do it at all. But by doing it, you're keeping your data relevant. Now, as a former technician, I can remember speaking to some customers not so long ago, I may add, who had data from 2014. And I'm talking about a year ago. So that data was at the time 10 years old. Now, yes, I understand record keeping is a thing, but there's ways to do it without still having the data in your live program slowing things down. There's still a way to keep that audit trail without having it slowing your reports down or you getting lost in numbers that are in front of you. It speeds up your searches and accounts. It's proven without a doubt, depending on your hardware, obviously, network speed, internet, all that kind of stuff. But if everybody had the same speed internet, the same speed PCs, laptops, and one set of data was 250,000 transactions and one was 5,000 transactions, I'm telling you now, the shorter data set is going to be able to find data much quicker. If you imagine Sage as a librarian, okay, and your company is the library, and all the transactions are the books. When you ask Sage to go and find a book, the less it's got to search through, i.e. the fewer transactions, the quicker it's going to find that information. You're giving the librarian an easier job. So by keeping that trim data set, things are going to happen quicker for you. The negative, and I don't see it as a negative, but the only negative or con that there could be is that it removes data permanently from your company. I don't see this as a negative as long as you do some of the steps I'm going to teach you. Some people do see it as a negative because they like to hoard information. We're all guilty of that in aspects of life, I suppose. But when it comes to your software, is it necessary? Now, the right-hand side of your screen there, you should see the letter resolution. And this resolution is from a guide. If you click on the link in the handout, it'll take you to it. This is the recommended guide of the data limits. So 250,000 transactions, also known as splits in the program. It's movements within the program itself. So fewer than 100,000 is ideal. 250,000, that's where you're going to start to see slower speeds and problems. Fewer than 50,000 invoices, sale orders, purchase orders, standard. So if you've got a lot of invoices, do you need them all? We'll show you how to manage that. I'm not going to read the rest out because I'm sure you're here as well and you can download the handout. But this is where, coming into your data, do I need to do this? If you're exceeding or approaching any of these limits, then yes, I would recommend it. It's the first thing a technician is going to say to you. There's no wonder it's running slow. Now, what's the data management tool? Well, basically, it says there, it's a feature designed to help you keep your data size small and relevant. Information that you want, when you want it, quick and easy to find. Again, using the library, if you've got 3 books, you're going to find which one you want quicker than you are if you've got 3,000, put it that way. No further explanation needed, to be fair. Now, the steps to data management is number 1, before you do anything, before you delete anything whatsoever, do a backup. Because like I said before, once it's gone, it's gone. But if you've made a backup, an insurance policy, a safe point that you can return to, doesn't matter what you've deleted because you can just restore that backup and get back to square one. So first things first, always take a backup. Now to do that, you must be logged in as manager or have the relevant permissions. It's file, backup, and then okay. That's easy, job done. Now, archive, this is optional. You don't have to do it, as the picture indicates there at the bottom option, archive optional. This creates a read-only copy of your data. So it's a photograph of your data as it is now. Can't be edited. Okay, the only thing that can be edited in it is customer or supplier details for GDPR purposes. That's the law, GDPR, data protection. So the only things that can be edited are contact details, addresses, names, etc., etc. Transactions and what have you in an archive cannot be added or edited whatsoever. It's an audit trail. You can't edit that audit once it's been archived. Much like a photograph that you've taken, you can't change what's in the photograph anymore. But you could cover over somebody's face, I suppose. We've all been there, haven't we? So yes, archiving, I recommend it highly. No reason not to do it. And it doesn't slow the program down whatsoever, because from a technical aspect, an archive is held outside of your live data. Okay, so again, not to worry there. What are the steps? Continued, well, this is a bit blurry, this screen. Apologies, this happened last time as well. Shouldn't be blurry on the handout, but I'll talk you through it. The clear audit trail option is first, then you delete invoices, then the ability to review customer records and review supplier records as well. Now, you'll see on the right-hand side, quite blurrily, there is an I in a blue circle. That I means you're approaching. If you can make out the wording there, it says approaching the recommended and not to exceed 250,000. The green tick means you're fine, you're okay. That's self-explanatory. Then the bottom symbol there is an amber triangle with an exclamation point, and that means, hang on a minute, you've exceeded something here. So in that example, it's 5,001 suppliers, and the recommendation is not to exceed 5,000. So that data set is exceeded by 1. They need to delete 1 supplier to get under the recommended data allowance. But if you're going to get under 1 by just 1, as soon as you add another one, you're over again. So you might want to then look into, can I have a bigger deletion of suppliers who don't I deal with anymore? So this is why this was created, is so that you can see actively what you need to change if you need to change anything. Now, how you access it, there's a couple of ways. If you've enabled it in your company preferences parameters, you can see there at the bottom right-hand corner, a little tick box, enable data management. It's automatically ticked when you first download the program. If it isn't, somebody's been in there and unticked it. Sage's recommendation again is to always have this active. Now, when that is active and you are approaching a limit, you see on the left-hand side, it says view data management with that spanner. That will appear because Sage is telling you, have a look at this, please. You're approaching some of the limits. You're getting close to what we would recommend. Other than that, though, what we're going to do today is we're going to access it the good old-fashioned way. Settings, company preferences, parameters, enable data management. I'm going to show you it. The other way to access it is manually. Tools, period end, data management. So anything to do with data, managing your data, i.e. year ends, month ends, archiving, clearing audit trail, deleting stock, all that kind of stuff. It shows you there on the picture. It's going to be in the period end option. The reason it's there is because usually when people are running a period end process, this is when they have a bit that spring clean. They have a bit of a tidy up of the records. If you're doing year end, who don't I deal with anymore? Let's have a go. You know, and you could dedicate, depending on your data set, you could dedicate an hour, 2 hours to this, depending on the data size that you've obviously got. But that's the manual way to enter it, and that's what we're going to look at again in the demonstration, which we're going to move into now. So hopefully you can see my Sage 50 in front of you. Now, this company is called Average Data. Okay, the reason it's called that is because this is the average data size. So this process I'm going to show you will take a bit longer than it would usually in a demonstration, but that's because I want to show you the impact of what can happen. Now, those recommended data limits that we mentioned before, remember the 250,000, 50,000, etc., etc. You might want to know, how can I quickly check those? To quickly check them, you go to Help and About, and I want you all to focus on the middle column here in your Help and About, okay? So data information splits, that's your transactions, 59,159. Invoices, 4,987. So that's 50,000, remember, so I'm less than 10%. Customer records, supplier records, everything there is in this middle column. That's if you just want to have a quick glance. Okay. If, again, you've got that spanner notification, it's going to be up here, and you would just simply tick on it and it would take you to the data management tool. I have not got data today with 250,000 plus transactions. I'm going to be hand on heart honest with you. If I did, this webinar would be 45 minutes long, just deleting data. So I've got a trim data set, 60,000 transactions. I think it's more than enough to show you the impact. You can practice this as well in demonstration data if you wanted to, and it's like turning off a light. It's nice and quick. So let's begin. So I want to click on Tools, Period End, and then Data Management. Obviously, I'm fine with this because I haven't done any processing. We've just opened it. The Data Management tool is going to open, and already it comes up with this. And it says, basically, take care of your audit trail. That's it in a nutshell. So for compliance purposes, keep regular backups of your data, which I hope you're all doing anyway. Provided you've got backups and or a company archive, you don't need to retain historical records in your live company data. So all these transactions here, you see, these are from 2017. Forgive all of this. It is a nonsense company set up for the purposes. So you can see how old the data is. Dreadfully old, going all the way back to 2003 in this instance. So these are your transactions, and I don't need anything that's here anymore in this situation. Now, so when I go to data management, the first thing it's going to prompt me to do is take a backup. Now, before the webinar started, I took a backup because of the length of time that it was going to take. It was going to take 3.5 minutes, and I didn't want you sitting around waiting for that long. But in the real world, you will not be able to progress from this screen without taking a backup. Sage is saying to you, we don't want you deleting anything using this tool if you haven't made sure you've got that insurance policy. So you will be forced to take a backup at this point. Depending on how large your data set is, you might want to go away and make a cup of tea. Put it that way. Archiving, that's optional. Now, what I would do with this, with the backup, I'm not going to take the backup, I'm just going to show you. What I would do here is, my company is called Average Data. What I might call this backup is pre-deletion, something along those lines. Save it to my desktop so I know that backup is before I did anything. And then with my archive, when I click archive, I do the same. Pre-deletion. And I'll just click OK. And it's going to archive my data. Oh, look how quick that was. And that's with 60,000 splits, 60,000 transactions. It's a quick process. So once I've archived and I've backed up, I'll then be able to progress the data management tool. And it'll take me to this option. Now, again, remember from the PowerPoint that I showed you, the slide, there was a blue circle with an eye in, then that amber triangle with an exclamation point. I don't have any of those because of the time it would take for the deletions to happen. But in this instance, let's say I don't want to keep any records from up to 2016. 2015, 16. I've got records here from 2003, remember? What I would do is I would want to clear my audit trail first. So in this screen, it tells me that we're going to permanently remove transactions from the audit trail, and it tells me to pick a date. It says we recommend you keep at least one financial year of live data, and it's come up with the recommended date, 31st of July, 2015. Also, it's letting me know that these banks haven't been reconciled within 12 months. So do I really want to have the bank reconciliation turned on for them? I can turn that off if I want to. Again, in this instance, I'm not going to bother with that because I'm quite happy the way that my banks are processing. So what I will do then is once I make sure that this date is accurate, I do have that backup. I do have that archive. I'm just going to click Clear Audit Trail, and it's going to start locating the transactions to be deleted. What it is doing here, it is filtering through those 60,000 transactions, and it's finding out what it can delete, because Sage will not delete anything that is unfinished. If there is an invoice that hasn't been paid, if there is a bank payment that hasn't been allocated, or a payment on account, it's not going to delete that, because Sage doesn't know if you still need that or not. Because imagine if it did delete it, and you did find out you needed it, and it's gone. Your numbers are all going to be wrong. So much like Casper the Friendly Ghost, Sage does not like unfinished business. It likes to know that everything has been taken care of before it deletes it. Because remember, you can't go back and undelete something. You'd have to restore the backup, i.e. you'd have to start this process all over again. Now it works a wee bit different depending on your data size. As you can see there, I've only deleted 1,800 transactions, even though I deleted all the way up to 2015. There's a lot of unfinished business in this company. Now, what I would do then is I want to view these transactions. You might never view this report again once you've viewed it once. Okay, save it to the desktop, put it in a folder somewhere, but this is your historic list of what you've deleted. As you can see, there is nothing in there that is unfinished. No PAs, nothing like that at all done and dusted. So I would save that as a clear audit trail that I've just deleted. And then we'll watch this number go down. So 59,159 transactions, it's now 57. We've got a lot of unfinished business still obviously in there. And to check on that, I could click close transactions. And as you can see, the posted date here is because it's been reorganized. If I go up here, there's still all of this because they haven't been allocated. Nothing's been done with them. None of this business is closed. So the point I'm making is just because you want to delete everything, you can't just do it willy-nilly. Things have to still be organized in order for data management to work. So the first time that you do this, it might take its time because you might have to check your transactions and go through everything methodically. But once it's done, it's done. And that's it. You don't have to worry about it again. So that was the Clear Audit Trail, or CAT, as it's sometimes called, CAT. Deleting invoices. Again, got 4,987. I'm going to pick a date to go up to. It's recommended the date for my financial year. I can delete these invoices here. And it's telling me that I'm allowed to delete 3,866. So what it's doing now, as you can see, it's going through each and every single digital copy. But I'm okay with this because I've taken my archive. I've taken a backup. So although I am deleting it out of my live data, I know that I can access my archive to have a quick look and see what the invoices were if I need to locate some information for an audit, for example. So we'll watch this number drop, and it gets to 3,866. There we are. The numbers there is 4987. Click close, and it's dropped straight away. Same with customer and supplier records. I'm just going to go through the customer ones here. So if I want to review my customer records, these are the ones I'm allowed to delete. What's the reason for that? Why aren't all my customers in there? The reason is, again, unfinished business. So a customer record can only be removed if there's no balance or transaction history, i.e. you've done your clear audit trail and you've removed the transaction history for that customer. That's what the clear audit trail does. And once you've done that, if their balance is 0, which it should be, you'd imagine, then you can delete them because there's no unfinished business. There's nothing hanging over. And obviously, it's not live. By that, we mean it's not associated with a current project or direct debit mandate, so it's not still in action. You'd have to get rid of all of that. Once you've done that, you review the customer records. It's one and all here. You can't just select 4 of this list, as you can see. You can't do it. You have to either select all and delete them or not. The only other option that you've got is, I know there's only 9 records here, is you could then go through to your customers section here and delete them individually, if that was the case. But I'm going to pretend that I don't like dealing with these customers anymore. I'm just going to delete them. And then guess what? Sage is going to go through the whole thing. Delete those customer records. They've now gone. It will be the same with supplier records. I don't deal with these suppliers anymore. It tells me the last invoice date. These suppliers have never been invoiced. That's why it says NA. These were last invoiced in 2007. Yeah, tell you what, I'm going to just delete them. Because if I ever start doing business with them again, I'll just re-add them. So gone. So that genuinely, that's how quick and easy it is to manage your data. And then when you go to your help and about to quickly check these numbers, you'll see the splits has dropped now to 57,000. Really simple process. Now we've had that spring clean. So we know we've got a backup before the deletion. What we want to do after that is compress the data. So after deleting any records, compressing the data reduces the size of it. If I go back to that library analogy, if you've just emptied loads of books off the shelf and there's gaps everywhere, it's more organized if you squash them all together. You're creating more space on the shelf for more books. So compressing the data does that. Always ensure as well that you've got an error-free backup prior to doing that. So the first thing that you're going to do is take a backup of your data. So again, nice and easy. File, backup. I'm not going to do it in front of you now, but I would call this post-deletion. Save it to your desktop. So you've got a pre and post. Not a problem at all. Once you've done that as well, so when you click it, it'll ask you if you want to check your data for errors. Just click yes. You want to make sure that there's no errors in the data. So you've checked your data, you've completed the backup, file, maintenance, compress data, top right-hand corner here. Once you click that, it's going to ask you what you want to compress. For this, because I've gone through nearly everything here in my clear audit trail, I'm just going to compress the lot. And this is where it could take a minute once it starts compressing the data. So this one could be, I'm going to quickly go and put the kettle on actually. Not now, not with you all waiting here, but it could be for you one of those moments where you say, right, I'm going to crack on with something else just while this is compressing. Because even though I've only got 57,000 splits, still, it's not going to be the quickest of processes, as you can see. So then this won't automatically close. You will just close it. There you go. You're all done and dusted. You can now start to process again without worrying that things are going to be a bit slower. They're going to be quicker, and your records are going to be more accurate because you've got everything that you need where you can see it. Now, if you did want to access your archives, You go File, Open Company Archive, and look what's there. The pre-deletion mid-year 2016, the archive that I've just taken in version 32. I took that the 30th of May. So if there is invoices that have gone that I wanted to view again, I would literally just open up that archive. I'm going to show you that now. So let's have a look here at our invoices. I couldn't find it there. That was good fun. So you can see my invoices 34631, and there's a few missing that have gone. Generally tends to be the older ones that go missing. So if I go File, Open, Company Archive, and I select the archive here, it'll ask me to type a password in, and it's the password that is active from when I took the archive. So if I've changed my password since, I still need to know the password that was there when the archive was taken. Then when I go to my invoices, there you are, look. All the invoices are back there. Back down to 29,643. So all the ones that I had deleted are here. They're in my archive, capital letters, pre-deletion, the name of the archive, and then the company name, Average Data. So I can check these invoices. Now, just to emphasize the point, I can't edit this archive. If I want to do a batch invoice, this option is not available when working with an archive dataset or when in read-only mode. Can't do it. What I can do is I can edit customers' contact details. So contact name, I could say, right, Alan, save. Let me do that. Because of the fact that that's GDPR. But anything else I can't do. Once I've checked what I needed to check in the archive, File, Open Company Data, and that's going to take me back. You know at the top here, type the password in, and this is your current password. It takes you back to Average Data. Simple. Really is a simple process. And as long as you've got that backup and that archive, you've not got really anything to worry about because you can always just restore. So you can see how it looks, you know, and then restore if you don't like it. Maybe you've deleted too much. Maybe you've deleted not enough and you want to delete further. It's up to you. So today what we've done is we've looked at why you would data manage. Keep that room tidy, easier for your records, potentially speed up the program, keep your data relevant, mainly. We've looked at the benefits of using the data management tool rather than doing this manually and going through and deleting invoice after invoice after invoice individually. You can delete 1,000 in the blink of an eye. We went through the demonstration, which again, if you missed some of it, we want to review some of it, you're going to be sent a recording of this so you can go through it again. Again, I will always, and the repeat viewers of my webinars, and I can see some of you in today, will know that I always hammer the point home of backing up your data. So the importance of doing that, it's worth its weight in gold, just having that backup that you can restore. Then compressing the data, that's a little known tip that not often customers know about, but compressing your data, it allows you to reclaim disk space on your actual PC, as well as within the program itself. If you're as old as I am, you'll remember defragmentation of PCs when you used to have to run that process to squash everything together again. Same ideology there. So you're basically just condensing everything down to a more bite-sized, manageable amount for the program to sort through. Click on that link there for the How Do I Use Data Management tool. We've just been through it all here, but again, if you're a better reading learner than you are a listening learner or a visual learner, you're going to benefit from those help and resources. Now, a couple of questions did come in with regards to the archives there. I answered them as we were going through. I didn't address them individually, but hopefully that did answer your question. Yep, it did answer your questions. Thank you. Spot on. About how to access the archives and how to spot an archive. So brilliant. I'm glad those questions were answered. But if you've got any now, ask them. We've got 15 minutes. You're going to get time back. The webinar is quite a quick one today, so it's not going to be a 45-minute webinar. Help and resources though, so I would go through these, deleting your old records, deleting customer and supplier records, access rights to make sure that you can please download the handout, if not just for these 3 articles alone. They're going to save you a lot of time just reading through these when you come into data management. Not only that, we've got free learning content in Sage University, bite-sized video guides as well to help you learn more about Sage 50 and all the features that are available, because I bet you there's a lot that you don't know about it. And if you want one-to-one tuition about it, we're doing that again. Anything on the list in front of you, as well as more. So Genius, one of our geniuses, will log into your PC. They will do a Teams meeting with you, and they will show you how to process how you want things to be processed, to put it that way. So it's more custom rather than generic. And they get quite, into the finer detail with you about how your company works and how you want it to look. It's worth its weight in gold, that again. But there's no more questions that have come through. So again, just want to say thank you. Please complete the survey. We do read every single comment, and we do take on board suggestions for future webinars. There was a couple of cracking ones came in yesterday, again from repeat viewers of the webinars that we're going to be taking into consideration. And we'll have a look and see if we can draw a couple of those up. So please fill in the survey. Let us know how it went. It's great to get feedback. As I say, we read all the comments, and it just gives us a lift at times as well. Not just that, it's good for you, because then we can improve if we need to improve. We can do things differently to try and help your learning styles. But apart from that, I'm going to let you go. It's been wonderful talking to you all today. I hope you all have fabulous weekends. Enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon. Then hopefully I shall see you all again next week. Speak soon. Bye for now.